so far we used the Commitment Gameboard in order to analyze status quo. And a thorough analysis of status quo is definitely already half the battle. But now we are going from state A, as we have it here, to state B. Since the environment is dynamic, I don't believe too much in comprehensive and detailed plans. I rather recommend in a solution-oriented way to just define the next 2-3 steps and then maybe in a week or two look at the game board again and to see what could be the next wise move. In order to define strategies, we can use common sense and we can also use our 3 directions for strategies. First direction would be to exercise influence on the individual. Second one, on the whole field. Third one, on the power structure. Let's start with the individual. Here we can try to influence directly or indirectly. Indirectly, we can use, for example, an internal bridge, like the assistant of the CEO has a good access to the CEO. And we can also use an external bridge. A good external bridge could be, for example, the client who is already here waiting with a full basket of money. And if he, for example, is saying, well, I want that you fulfill that and that specification, then even for the top management it will be difficult to refuse. Second strategic option would be the whole field now. What we could do here is, on the one side, involve the players. Just by calling them for a meeting, for example, increases the commitment usually. No involvement, no commitment. Second would be to agree on rules of the game. For example, if this person here is often late in delivering his parts of the project, then it might make sense to agree between the two of them to say, okay, in case you don't have the time to do that, please inform me well ahead of time so that I can find a plan B. And for sure, what is important for the whole field is to provide them with adequate and appropriate resources. Nobody likes to work with a scarcity of resources, and this helps to motivate. Okay, strategic option number 3 is to change the power situation. Here it becomes a little bit touchy or political. So what could we do? On the one hand, we could, for example, increase our own power base, for example, by increasing our expertise. We could do this by, for example, reading the most relevant information before we go into a meeting. Or we can borrow authority. If we have, let's say, a sponsor here who is part of the top management, we might ask this person to, for example, make a statement towards that project. And we could also change the whole power structure by, for example, inviting new players. So we had a situation that in a company they were having a change from product selling to solution selling. And the managing director basically employed somebody from IT industry who had already something like 10 years experience in solution selling. And this person was helping a lot and bringing a new expertise power into the whole field here. So those 3 strategic directions are like a checklist that help me as a lateral leader to choose those next steps that really make sense.